Well, we
We
could
have
do some,
Representative Newsom. Good morning.
President Broussard, we are live now.
all right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you don't mind, Charlie, we can do the roll call whenever you're ready.
Yes, thank you. President Broussard,
Here.
Vice President Cavello,
Here.
Commissioner Torgerson,
Here.
Commissioner Bowl,
Present.
Commissioner Schiffer,
Here.
Commissioner Rithaller,
Here.
Commissioner Cura,
Here.
Commissioner Francisco,
Here.
Commissioner Wildcat.
Here.
Thank you. We also have joining us today, Representative Newsom, House Liaison.
Here.
Senator Driscoll has joined us too as well. Thank you, sir. The Senate Liaison. And
Here.
Liaison. I don't see him on the call at this point. President Broussard, we do have a quorum.
All right. Do you want to? Well, I could welcome everybody. I know it's a one item agenda today, so we should be pretty quick about this. Is there anything else, Charlie, you'd like to do in the welcome?
I can run through it real quickly. Welcome to the August 31st, 2023 special meeting of the Wyoming Gaming Commission. Our mission is the primary mission, of the Gaming Commission is protection of the wagering public and the health, safety, and welfare of the participants in all lawful gaming and parimutuel activity. Individuals who wish to be recognized today and address the commission, please raise your hand. We are on Zoom. After the president has recognized you, please clearly state your name, the name of the organization you represent prior to addressing the commission. All comments, questions, responses must flow through the president by addressing the president each time you wish to speak. This procedure ensures an orderly flow of discussion during the commission meeting. All meetings of the governing body of the agency are public meetings open to the public, except as otherwise provided pursuant to Wyoming Statute 16-403A. The meeting is being held via Zoom. It's also available on YouTube at our link. And inclusion on the agenda does not necessarily constitute a commission action. Additionally, commissioners, we do have Mr. Kaler joining us on the meeting as well. Thank you. And back to you, President Broussard.
All right, we'll state the Pledge of Allegiance and get going. Everybody, after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll move on to item 2 on the agenda, which is the agenda. Entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
I so move. This is Dan Schiffer.
Thank you, Dan.
Second, Cavello.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, we will just have a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 If there's anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, sounds like that went easy. How about item number 3, approval of the minutes of the July 19th, July 21st special meeting, the 2 agendas, I guess. Entertain a motion to adopt the 2 agendas. The 2 minutes.
Mr. President, we move to it. Second.
Thank you. I've heard a first and a second. Charlie, did you get the names of who?
I believe Commissioner Torgerson moved to adopt the minutes. I did not hear the second.
Cavello.
Develop.
Thank you. Any discussion about the minutes? Commissioners, anyone else? Okay, we'll call the vote. All in favor of adopting the minutes for July 19 and July 21, state by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, moving on to item 4. This is what we're here for, online sports wagering. Charlie, and you want to fill us in and we'll go forward.
Yes, thank you. I'll turn this item over to Mike Steinberg. Mike?
Thank you, President Bouchard, Commissioners. This is a request from FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC, doing business as Fanatics, to obtain a sports wagering operator permit. As part of that request, Fanatics is purchasing PointsBet Wyoming operations. On June 22nd, 2023, the Gaming Commission received the application from FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC, a Wyoming Limited Liability Company, doing business as Fanatics Sportsbook. Did a background on Fanatics as an operator. They checked all the boxes. Background came back clear. Fanatics themselves are currently licensed in 3 jurisdictions within the United States, and also have several, I believe over 10 or 12 pending applications, including ours here today. Again, this is an acquisition of PointsBet's company. But again, Fanatics as an individual operator does meet all the statutory requirements and has passed a background to obtain a permit here in Wyoming. I would stand for any questions on that.
Thank you, Mike. Do we have any questions of Mr. Steinberg? Go ahead.
Mr. President. My question would be, just for further clarification, I think it kind of states this, but all the vetting and everything that you've done would be just the same as if this was an application starting from the get-go. You've basically looked at everything having to do with this application just as if they were a new applicant. Is that correct?
President Bouchard, Vice President Cavello, that is correct. Fanatics submitted an application as if they were a brand new operator, which they are. The background check and the vetting was based on Fanatics as a company. They also did pay the $2,500 application fee, just like anybody else would, to apply.
Thank you.
Mr. President, this is Commissioner Bowl.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Bowl.
I was wondering how many years are left on the permit that's being transferred?
President Bouchard, Commissioner Bowl, there are approximately 3 years left on PointsBet's original permit. I'd have to look specifically. It's 3 years and probably a month or 2.
And yet, I need you to educate me here. Is there any limitation on the number of these types of permits that the state could issue if the applicant complied with the regs?
President Broussard, Commissioner Bowl, there's no limit to the amount in statute.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Commissioner Schiffer has his hand raised and
All right, Dan, go ahead. You have the floor.
President Broussard, members of the commission, a couple questions. One is, and I'm not sure I'm accurate here, but I recall something about having a bank account in Wyoming as opposed to Delaware, New York, or elsewhere. Is there any information on whether that's a requirement, and if so, if that's exists? Would be my first question.
President Bouchard, Commissioner Schiffer, I know you asked that the last time, and Director Moore had to help me out with the wording, so he may have to help me out again. What I can tell you is that Fanatics financial information is consistent with the other operators that have been permitted in the state of Wyoming. Their banking institution, and maybe Director Moore, you can help me out again with how you worded that last time.
Yeah, in the rules, there is the ability, I believe, for an exception to that. And the bank account information is identical to what has been set up with PointsBet and what we'd approved originally with PointsBet. And I believe due to some of the issues internally in the state, they have left their accounts with their holdings. And I don't know the exact location. I can get that for you if you'd like. Well, I will get that for you. And we'll have that before the end of the day where that is located. I believe it is a Delaware company that is holding those accounts for that individual permit.
Charlie, they're compliant with the law. Is
Yes,
that- Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
What
Thank
we
you.
ran into is, and what we have run into is, and maybe Commissioner Cavello might even be able to expand on this a little bit, is a lot of the banks, due to the banking laws, have been reluctant. The in-state, we have contacted the banking, and help me out, maybe Vice President Cavello, on the term, but the Banking Association, and we've talked to those folks a little bit, and they're just reluctant to jump into this space as early on as it is new.
Yes, Mr. President and Director Moore, if you would, basically, the sports betting and the gaming portion of things being newer to the state of Wyoming, most of the banking institutions just aren't up to speed. In order to bank these kind of guys, there's requirements, and obviously we're doing that with some of the smaller accounts, with some of the people running the smaller gaming deals. But when we get to these larger ones, most of the banks just don't have reporting capabilities and aren't set up and just aren't comfortable enough to be able to do this yet. So for a while, we're probably not going to be able to find institutions within the state that are willing to bank these guys yet. That's probably an ongoing situation that will, as we move forward, continue to get better and better and better. We'll probably see more of these people able to bank within the state, but most of them right now probably won't find a bank in the state that'll be able to handle their accounts at this point.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, President Broussard. The
Yeah, go ahead,
second question I have, looking at the application, and it's kind of complicated, but it says, and I'm not sure, I have it as page 6 of 25 on the application. It says that is it applicant's parent company or other intermediary business entity currently a party to or has ever been a party to in any capacity any business trust instrument. That question was answered no. And when I go back up to the disclosure of all the individuals, which would be page 5, and I got to find it because
You're on Zoom.
right. Well, I know I'm on somewhere here. It was page 4. Okay, sorry, I'm having a little trouble locating it, but there was a trust, and I was trying to figure out, and I guess this would be a question for the applicant as an indirect owner. I'm just a little confused by it. I'm sorry, I'm not able to.
You have time. If you need to,
Okay, so yeah,
minute.
going on page 5, say halfway down the thing, it says Michael G. Rubin, 2001 GST non-exempt grantor retained annuity trust number 2 as an indirect owner. And I don't understand any of what all that means, but I wondered if that was correct answer to the following, to the next page, question number 5, if that trust is part of this applicant. So I probably couldn't ask it in a more confusing way, but
President Broussard,
go ahead.
we have a Mr. Berger who's raised his hand. I'm going to move him over. Maybe he can help clarify this.
Thank you, Nick. Go ahead, Mr. Berger, if you have an answer to Dan's question.
Well, Mr. President, while you're waiting for him, if I might inject
Go
something.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oftentimes, I think that the deal is the corporation a part of a trust? But I think in this case, the trust is part of the corporation, which is a different deal. The trust is one of the owners of part of the corporation, which is different than the corporation being a trust. And oftentimes that would be like, my wife and I have a trust, and we have ownership in bank stock here, and that's different than actually the bank itself being part of a trust. And so I think they're two different things.
Thank you, Cactus.
Mr. Berger, if you'd like to speak, you do have the floor if you'd like.
Try the mute button.
We have a Mr. Leopold on here as well, who had his hand up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Scott.
Yeah, so just for clarification, that trust is just an individual trust held by Michael Rubin. It just holds interest in the company itself. It's not a separate business trust like you guys were just explaining. It's just a vehicle to hold the interest.
And are you able to hear me now? I apologize. This is Berger.
Yeah, we hear you.
For that technical difficulty. It sent me a passcode and was having trouble accessing it. In any event, yes, I think Scott adequately addressed the issue, but it's really just a personal estate planning trust form to hold interest, primarily in the Fanatics ownership of companies. So, with respect to the original question, this wouldn't be a business trust instrument for FBG or the other Fanatics entities, rather a personal holding just to hold an ownership interest.
Thank you for that clarification.
Mr. Leopold and Mr. Berger, if you could both state your names and who you represent for the record, please.
Sure, 100%. Adam Berger, BERGER. I'm from the law firm Morris. We represent FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC.
Yep, and my name is Scott Leopold, also with Dwayne Morris representing FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I think Commissioner Rithaler maybe had his hand up at one point there. Did you still have you have a question, Commissioner?
Yes, President Broussard, I was just curious, what happens to the application they just took over? Is it null and void, or is it still in the books?
But would you like me to answer that, Director Moore?
Yes, please.
Okay. Commissioner or President Broussard, Commissioner Rithaler, as part of this acquisition, Fanatics is purchasing PointsBet company in its entirety, which would include their Wyoming permit. So that permit that currently says points bet would be transferred to, say, Fanatics.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Nick, any other hands up? So at the moment, we're just having a discussion. There's no motion. I know that the agenda item says that there's possible action. I guess the possible action is to approve the transfer. Or are we not at that point yet, Mike?
President Burchard, obviously the commission's preference, but we are at the point that we can accept or make a motion to accept Fanatics as a operator and their acquisition of points bets
Okay.
license.
And from legal's perspective and from your perspective, they're all in compliance.
President Burchard, that is correct.
Okay. So nothing, nothing from Michael Kaler to add. I know this is the first one we're doing, so we kind of want to take our time and make sure we get it right. So any comments from the rest of the commission?
I have none.
Okay, thank you, Dick. Any questions from outside of the commission?
President Broussard, there's no more hands.
Okay, so at this point, what would the commission like? Would we like to make a motion to approve the transfer?
President Broussard, I would like to make a motion to approve the transfer of the ownership of PointsBet Wyoming to FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC, DBA Fanatics Sportsbook.
Thank you, Cactus. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
So I got a second and a third. Okay, so now we'll open up for more discussion. Any more questions, any concerns, comments from the commission, please? Hearing none, I'll open it up to anyone outside the commission. Any hands? Nick, any new hands?
President Broussard, there is no hands.
Okay. When hearing none, we'll call the vote. All in favor of transferring the permit, please state that by saying aye.
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 If there's anyone opposed, please state nay. Hearing none, sounds like the transfer passes. All right, moving on to item number 5. Anyone see a need for an executive session?
Nope.
No. All right, then we'll go to item number 6, which are dates, which we can read on our agenda. We have a September 28th meeting. Is that Zoom, Charlie, the 28th?
The 28th of September is here in Casper, Wyoming.
Okay, and then we're going to have one, a 2-day meeting, November 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
Any comments or questions about that item number 6, dates? Hearing none, I will move to adjourn the meeting. Or anybody have anything else before I adjourn? Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Appreciate it,
Appreciate it.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.